And we've got tier 10. We'll start at the beginning with Crucible 1, which can just be duoed, no problem. It can be soloed too with some other characters, but I figure 2 on the one side, 1 on the other side, bring all 3 to the middle. That makes the most sense for a tier like this. So 3 characters for the entirety of tier 10, which I think is great because tier 10 is definitely one of the harder ones if you don't play your cards right. That Reckoning has so many mechanics to keep in mind, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get there when we get there. This stage is kind of a pushover. It really is. I mean, Sherlotta being the featured character handles the orb no problem. You just spam skill 1. It not only charges the FR, but deals with the orb. So really you can just get your gauge up by having her stand there and do her thing, and then blow them up, which is exactly what we are going to do. I did not get her burst, unfortunately, which is really what I wanted. I wanted that more than the FR, to be honest, but I tried, couldn't do it. I got 4 copies of the FR, though, so at least I got to upgrade it without using stones. I guess that's cool. This is just me trying to justify the fact that I'm broke now. Still have not really recovered from Cam and Tidus, so the polls are not going to be good moving forward. They better be. I hope they are, because they have not been good for me for this era at all. I've been getting screwed this whole era, but I don't mean to just sit here and bitch. I'm just saying that's the situation I'm in with the resources, but hopefully things will turn around. But like I said, FR gauge is up. I don't even know what her conditions are. I think battery is a big one. I think maybe instant turns. I don't know. I have no idea. But regardless, this worked out. So at this point, we're going to just get the summon up and go in while the FR is still active. And then by the time we get out of here, we can go into Garnet's burst phase. And that'll be that. That'll be completely overkill. We didn't need the burst phase at all. I just kind of figured, let's keep it at 3 turns because why not? Yeah, there isn't much left to say about this in particular. The Tidus solo on Crucible 2, I'm probably getting ahead of myself right now, but I originally went about that with a different strategy, a strategy that made less sense. I was trying to be more defensive, but again, I'll talk about that when we get there. I'm totally getting ahead of myself. I have not done the Dare to Defy yet for this stage, but I think I'm going to use exactly the same team. Tidus, Garnet, and Sherlotta. That's probably what I'm going to do. I may swap out Sherlotta, maybe for like a Pinello. Maybe I'll just use her there, just to charge it and get it done. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know, but it does seem that with Tidus, you really can just kind of blow that stage up. I mean, there's a reason he's so popular for this tier. He's kind of the perfect character for this tier. So, very glad I went back and pulled for him. Very, very happy. Yeah, see what I mean by overkill? Like, we do not need all of this. So we are going to just get through it. We don't need to watch all this. He's dead already. Let's just get to the end of it. Why waste the time? Come on. Come on. Okay. So that's Crucible 1. Tag teamed by Garnet and Sherlotta. Easy as pie. Which brings us to the Tidus solo of Crucible 2. I originally went at this with a Gladio call so that I could survive when I was doing the breaks, because these guys do get that break counter thing, which can be pretty devastating. But I realized you can just kind of not break them. I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just going to town breaking them when I shouldn't. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. If I just time my breaks properly, I can break them in the burst and the summon and it won't be a problem. As long as you don't do it on the very last turn of the burst or the summon, they won't counter you. So if you just time your breaks accordingly, you will be fine. But I am yet again getting ahead of myself because they have not even put up the break counter aura yet, but they're about to. I think one more turn should do it if I remember correctly. Now I just want to get that summon up. That's why the Rain's Call is here. That's right, I'm trying to remember how I even did this. Okay, not one more turn, I spoke too soon, but should be any second now. There it is. Now would be a good time. Here, let's just hit you. See, so that way, okay, that puts his overhead at 2. If I were to attack again, that would trigger the break counter and I would be dead. So we have to go into the burst. So we can get our breaks and not worry about it. So this way, if you just do the burst finisher on the one who doesn't have the yellow aura, Tidus will not do his follow-up and get an automatic break. Which means you can just go right into the summon from here and that will be enough to kill them. Because the FR gauge will be full by then too, so we'll just boost damage even more. And that'll be that. Because as you can see, we are already breaking this one on the right quite a bit, and it is not going to matter. Why would I not target the one on the left that had a launch? That was an odd choice, but I guess I'll do that afterwards. So look, now he's got Brave, or he, she, whatever that thing is. Doesn't matter. I think she, but who cares? Who cares? He, she, whatever it is, they're dead. They're gonna die very soon. Chocobo summon simply because it builds faster, because this stage is only Lufenia difficulty, so it's not like they have a whole lot of health, given the type of damage output we're putting out these days. So, yeah. Even 31 on both. So yeah, there really isn't much to say about this. Now it's just a matter of time before they're dead. And then we can get to the good stuff. The Reckoning. The reason that anybody's going to watch this. No one's really looking... Well, some people might want solo help, I guess. But even so, this one was not so bad. And the Jack shot finish. Beautiful. So that is that for the Crucibles. All in all, not so bad. A solo and a duo gets the job done. But now it's time for the good stuff. The Reckoning. Now with this setup that I'm bringing, it's very risky in the beginning because there are some tier 6 mechanics at play here where you want 6 debuffs on that big robot there. Otherwise he will just keep taking turns. But by his 3rd turn that he steals, he does this all attack where he just wipes you. It hits really hard. So you want your 6 debuffs on pretty much right away. We already have 5. So we're going to add one more with this Sherlotta sap debuff. He's going to steal one more turn. This actually works out well that he broke Tidus. Because I want Garnet to go first anyways. We can get her burst effect up. Get the Leo call up. And then just start spamming, I think. So that's what we're going to do. Now, there are some pretty finicky HP threshold mechanics with this stage. I wouldn't be able to even define all of them, but a lot of it has to do with the ads. It felt a lot like Tier 5. It's like they took the most annoying elements of Tier 5 and Tier 6 and combined them into one. So that was fun, but it has something to do with the ads, where if the ads have a certain amount of health left, they will hit you they'll hit you so hard. They'll basically just kill somebody. In fact, in some instances, it was an instant wipe where they were just dispelling someone and killing them. It wasn't even an HP attack. It was like an automatic kill. I know someone out there knows the specifics of that more than I do. I honestly don't. So I figure, you know what? Let's just avoid all of it. Let's just go in early and rush them down to death. For now, we're going to just spam a little bit. This Leo call is putting in tremendous work. Letting Tidus just spam and spam. Big fan of it. I was not expecting an instant turn there. Was not expecting that. But it ended up working out perfectly. Because then I figure, you know what, we can just get this up, can't we? Yes, we can. Now would be the time to do it. Because I don't want Tidus to be taking more turns anyways. I really don't. So this way we can just get his burst effect up, so that's one less thing we have to worry about later. So now that's ready to go. And Sherlotta can do her thing, which is to just spam. Just keep spamming. I'm sorry, but I know I say it all the time, but I am not a fan of the way they structure this, where it's like, just stand there and spam battery over and over again. so that you can get your gauge up so that the fight doesn't take forever. Because I'll do it this way just because it's effective, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It feels, I don't know if lazy is the right word, or it's just lame. It's just lame. I don't like that bit of it, but I'm gonna do it for convenience sake, so that's where we are. We might as well keep it up because we're already at, okay, 85. We're almost at 100. So basically what the plan here is now is to get this gauge up a little bit and then go into the summon and just kind of get all set up for the Tidus FR and burst. And then the fight is over. It really is. So if you're going to run a strategy like this, it's really just the beginning where you have to be a little careful with the debuffs and watch the health thresholds, because I didn't want to get him down too far. Like I said, we just got him down to like, okay, I'm about to spoil it, but I was gonna say I think it's 69. 69% health before we went into the burst and killed him. Another reason why I think it would be wise to save things like your FR and your burst for the last phase of the fight is because this thing likes to heal itself by, I want to say it's 1.1 million every turn once it gets underneath 39%. So if you aren't putting out enough damage properly, he's going to be healing more damage than you're doing. And that is not a good position to be in. It makes the fight basically unwinnable. So if you time your stuff properly, you won't have to worry about that. He'll be dead before it's even an issue. Right now is the perfect time to do it. The perfect time. So now we're all set up. Well, almost. We should get our Rains call on while we're in, I can't even talk. We should get our Rains call on while we are in here. So this way he'll have one turn left. He can LD before we get out of here. Because yet again, we're going in at 7. 7 turns of force time before you go into the burst. Most of the time, that seems to be the ideal setup. That's just what you want to do. Unless they do some stuff like they did for Red Comet. It was Red Comet, where the bosses were just taking turns and attacking a whole bunch. They took like 6 turns in a row. Then you want to go in at 8, so you can come out at 1 and just, they eat up all the counterattacks. But that's a totally different situation. Generally, go in at 7 turns on force time. It just works out way too well to not do. Now, I wanted to be greedy with turns here and just throw out a quick hit. So maybe could have been 5 turns, but better safe than sorry. Let's just do the skill that's going to damage a little more and pop out an LD. This dude's power horn is seriously about to go off as I'm recording. It's staying in. It's staying in. It's whatever. Now that damn train is rolling by again. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're gonna just leave it all in. I don't know if that's even picking up on the mic, but I know I can hear it, so I'm gonna just mention it. Whatever. I'm so happy that I went back and pulled for Tidus. Granted, he cost me everything, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. There is one person out there who really convinced me to go back and pull for Tidus, and I gotta say, she was 100% right. So thank you. I'm glad I did it. As far as rotations go with him, I'm learning if you are in Tidus's force time, it makes a lot more sense to throw out quick hits as opposed to slash combos, because it ups the percentage more than slash combo does. And I figure since it really only matters for us to kill this big one, we might as well just focus single target attacks and build this up as much as we possibly can. So that's what we're doing. Because the ads, they don't matter anymore. They don't matter whatsoever. They're here to just distract and throw shit at you. No, focus the big one. As always, as like 99% of the time, when fights are structured this way, the little guys are just distractions. Just hit the big one, damn it. That's how it's supposed to go. So at this point, I think we will throw out an EX after this. because we boosted that damage quite a bit. Then an FR and a burst, and that will be that. Okay, 34%. You're gonna see that healing I was talking about. In just a moment. See right there. Over 1 million. And he saps your health, so having some sort of HP regen is gonna be really helpful, because I would hate to see anybody out there being in a position like this, where they're going to the burst, doing their thing, doing all this damage, and then they fail the HP requirement because their health gets sapped. So if you're going to do a strategy like this, bring some form of healing. That would be very helpful. See, we're not going to end the fight with full health because that last HP sap takes place after the healing, but that's Sherlotta at work right there. Her HP regen is keeping Tidus's health up just enough, so that it's basically full health by the time we're over this. But if that wasn't there, yeah, good chance we would have failed from just the HP sap. But luckily, that is not a concern of ours. 5%. Yeah, see, he heals up a whole percentage. So, again, if you're not dealing at least 1.1 million per turn at this point of the fight, you might as well just give up, because it's just going to be a race against that healing, and you're going to lose if you don't have things like your FR or your burst or what have you. Things to pump out big damage. But big damage is what we've done, and this tier is complete. That's 10 tiers for the books. I am curious as to who you guys ran. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.